Welcome to the Wanderers grounds for the third and final game of this NSL Super Saturday presented by BMO. I'm joined by Jessica Lisi, former youth international. My name is Ashley Docking. Halifax have revenge on their mind because the last time they saw Vancouver, quite frankly, they got swept away, but the Rise's performance has been aided in large part by stalwart Quinn. They have been in and out of the lineup for the majority of the season, but now that injuries are resolved, they've found a stride that's leading the charge for the Rise.
Absolutely. Quinn is a player that has the ability to control the dynamic of the game and calm play down, but also has bite in the attack when it's needed, specifically in and around the 18. There are so many times where they step up and just absolutely put it home for this Vancouver side.
10 matches, 9 starts, 5 goals, and 2 assists for Quinn. They are returning to the starting lineup as we take a look at the 11 that Vancouver will trot out here. There's 3 changes and then a goaltender swap. Morgan McCaslin is back in the lineup. DiFilippo is out. Mariah Lee is in her place. Shannon Weller is out. Jalen Wright also out. Cowart and Okamoto replace them on the back line.
You mentioned Lee, Ashley. That's somebody that's going to step in and provide that threat in behind. We know she can score some goals. And now there are 3 players up top that have a ton of pace, so that's definitely going to add to this Vancouver threat. I also think Jasmine Spencer is going to play a big role in getting forward and providing those overloads on the flank.
Spencer kind enough to join us before the match and talk a little bit about this team's consistency, how they've been able to develop chemistry, and what's going to lead them to success tonight. Jasmine, thank you so much for joining us. You have 2 goals so far this season, including one in the 6-0 win against Halifax when you guys faced them a couple weeks ago. What do you think allowed that dominant performance in your last matchup against them?
I think we came out very aggressive. I think that was part of our game plan where we knew that they had played a couple of games in a short period of time and we wanted to capitalize on potentially heavy legs they had. But it was really successful, so it's something that we're definitely looking to do again today.
And speaking of successful, your team has had results in 3 games in a row, 2 wins and a draw. So what do you think has impacted your ability to have consistency and see the fruits of your labor?
I think just really the dedication and commitment to our identity and style of play. I think a lot of the young players are starting to grow into their own. You can see Holly Ward starting to come into her own, Kennedy Faulkner in the back line, and I think that's just a tribute to not only them, but the whole team's commitment to the process, and it's starting to all come together now.
Well, thank you so much for the insight and for joining us. Good luck this evening in your match. To Halifax's credit, despite their up and down season, they have refused to rest on their laurels, and Tiffany Cameron is the exact representation of what I'm talking about. Second match last week, first start in the 1-1 draw against Montreal, and really you can feel her impact.
She has the ability to help turn things around for this Tide side. This is a player that brings pace and grit and work ethic, but she's also great in being that focal point for them in the build-up. She can thread the ball through, as you're seeing here, a bit of craftiness from her leading up to this. I'm hoping to see some goals from her today.
I'm sure that Halifax would love that. That's something that they've struggled with in terms of their offensive potency. But let's take a look at this starting 11. 2 changes from their last game, that draw against Montreal. Millie Clegg is out, replaced by Sid Kennedy. And then an interesting turn. Megumi Nakamura is not in the starting lineup for the first time in 11 games, and making her NSL debut, Sofia Cedeno, and she's going to be holding things down in the middle, which is a tall task.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Cedeno's an under-19 U.S. Youth National Team player. She's also an ECNL All-American. She's known to be very hardworking and crafty and bring that vision, so I'm excited to see her step in there. I also think Amanda Allen is somebody that you have to draw focus to. She's very talented, crafty, and pacey, and she adds a lot to this attack.
Allen, also her impact has been felt, and we got a chance to catch up with her pre-match and talk about what she brings to the table night in and night out. Amanda, you came in and made an immediate impact, scoring to tie it up in your last match against Montreal. So I'm curious, what can Halifax fans expect from you as your signature contributions to your side night in and night out?
I think they can expect me to give my all every single game. You know, I'm here to support the team, support the players the best way that I possibly can. And I think my hard work is something that I've been able to uplift the team with. So I definitely think that they can expect that from me. A lot of hard work, a lot of you know, decisiveness in the final third, and you know, just pushing the team forward and trying to get us forward as quickly as we possibly can.
And I think your work rate has very much been on display for your short amount of time here in Halifax. Now, you were not part of this team in their last meeting against Vancouver, but I'm sure you've seen the highlights and heard all about it. So what's the strategy tonight to make sure that the result is not the same as the last match?
Well, I definitely think that we reflected on that game. We know where we went wrong, and we have done a lot of review to make sure that that is not the same result that is on display tonight. So I think we're coming out guns blazing. We're coming out strong, and you know, we're here to win. So that's what we're going to do our best to do tonight.
Guns blazing. I love it. Thank you so much for your time, Amanda, and great luck tonight. It's kind of the elephant in the room, that 6-0 loss for Halifax at the hands of Vancouver. I'd be willing to wager tonight will not be the same. First half coming up. Wanderers Grounds is the scene of this third and final matchup for the Northern Super League triple header, dubbed Super Saturday, our second in a row. I'm joined by Jess Lisi, former Youth International. My name is Ashley Docking, and quite frankly, one of the things that has got to be addressed is that 6-0 thrashing that Halifax took at the hands of Vancouver. We don't want to harp on it too much because 2 weeks have passed since, but we talked to Amanda Allen about it being something that they looked at and reviewed. I'd be willing to bet, Jess, that this has been circled.
Absolutely, it has been. You know that they're going to want to come into this game bringing it. They're not going to walk away with another 6-0 loss. That's not something that you forgive yourself for, that's for sure. And we've seen this team grow into every single game. We're seeing some new players there. We have Amanda Allen in the mix. We have Cameron in. Now we have Cedeno. There's so many new faces that are in this mix that can help this team out.
Couple changes for both sides, but we see Vancouver possess the ball first. They are in the sunburst green and yellow kits going on your screen right to left, and the hometown Halifax side are going left to right, and they are in the blue ombre. Both teams have indicated that they are ready to come out guns blazing and take no prisoners, so that should make for an action-packed first half, and then we'll see who runs out of fuel first. Some clutching and grabbing early on. Ava Framo in the mix.
Who else?
Who would have thought? Listen, I love her style of play. We talk about it a lot. Obviously, she was on the 5 yellows. She has a grace period to go infraction free before a suspension is incurred. But I absolutely love her style of play. Unapologetic, unrelenting, and it's somebody that you love to have on your side.
Absolutely, and you need it. You want someone to be able to set that tone and, you know, let it be known that you're not one to be messed with.
Yeah.
So you do love to see it. You love to have it on your team, that's for sure. It's not as fun to go against, though.
Absolutely not. Some footwork by Faulkner, who receives the ball back, the Scarborough native out of UCLA. She is making just her 3rd start of the season for this Vancouver side. Morgan McCaslin back in net. Kirsten Tynan got the start at their last home game in front of the home crowd and her parents who cut a vacation short in order to watch her debut. But now McCaslin firmly back in goal for this side. Quinn maneuvers through the middle. Hits the deck, and it's going to be an easy call for our official. Vancouver just playing with an air of confidence about them. As of late, talking to their head coach, Anya Heiner-Moeller, about their production has been something that takes the edge off, if you will. And listen, scoring solves a lot of problems.
It does, and at the beginning of the season, we were having a very different conversation.
An opportunity for the build here on Vancouver's side. One touch to goal, and it has to be knocked away by Annika Toth. And that slow, methodical build-up for Vancouver is something that Anya is very proud of.
And just off that was something that let Halifax down in the last time these two teams met. They gave Vancouver way too much time and space, and you were seeing there Okamoto had so much time and space in front of her to be able to make that decision and find her teammates to create something dangerous, and now that results in another opportunity to find the back of the net.
Big cross here, good ball for Vancouver. It's met by Halifax, trying to clear things from danger. Despite their travel, Vancouver playing with an element of pace here early on.
But just to go off of what you were saying earlier, Ashley, we were having a very different conversation at the beginning of this season when it came to Vancouver. They were a team that was not producing in the final third. It was a PK here and there that they were getting their goals from. They were just very good in possession and build up. So it's great to see them turn that tide and really, find the back of the net, multiple goals in multiple different games. And a lot of that is attributed to the fact that they've switched formations to a 4-3-3. That was something that Coach Heiner-Moeller mentioned to us. She feels that they have simplified their game a little bit, and they're finding that switch ball, and they're utilizing players like Paczerski and Ward to really help drive that offense for them.
Toronto native Annika Toth has started the last 6 matches for Halifax. They really trust her back there. A 1-1 draw against Montreal. Conceded an early goal for their side, and then was able to hold this Halifax group in place despite some pressure from a Montreal side that we know can create. And then Halifax able in the second half to make some adjustments. Some pressure coming here for Vancouver. And it's a turnover in a dangerous area. Vancouver regain possession. A nice run from Okamoto. She throws it on nets, and that's easily collected by Toth. But this pressure is mounting, and for the first 5 minutes of this match, it's been all Vancouver.
They're living in Halifax's half very comfortably right now. They're a team that loves to possess, but you're seeing them try to break those lines and make those runs, specifically on this left side through both Ward and Okamoto. You saw Quinn play that ball over quite a few times into that space, which is exposing the left flank a lot. So that is something that is going to work in their favor if they continue to build there and connect that final pass.
Halifax take control. The first shot is blocked, but a second opportunity here. Dangerous territory. The cross springs off the foot of Halifax, and it's going to be a goal kick here. And that's newcomer Julianne Vallerand, who we were talking to Stephen Hart about because she made her first start in her first game in the last match. And he said we're trying to integrate her into the style of play that we have and we love. Obviously, fitness is going to be an issue, but we like her as a piece.
She's somebody I actually had the opportunity to play with in college. We were played together at West Virginia, and she is an absolute stud of a player. I've seen her play in multiple positions. She brings a lot of craftiness. I don't think we've even seen a glimpse of what she's capable of. So it's exciting to see her get in the mix for this Halifax side and be able to contribute to potential success for them going forward.
One of the things they love about her is her versatility. Can play a multitude of positions confidently. And maybe we'll see them lean on that a little bit. So far now, she's holding down the back line, but with the green light to go. Vancouver once again. No foul called on that play. Looked like a shove from behind, but we'll wait to see a replay.
That did look questionable on first glance.
Nonetheless, it's Halifax who pass in tight quarters and trying to make their way out of this Vancouver pressure, which has been sustained now for almost the first 10 minutes. Take another look at what we saw. That ball gets brought down. Regardless if it's incidental or not, you tell me, Jess.
Yeah, it looks like she might have got caught up there, Marika Gay, and behind Lisa Pechersky, but nonetheless, it took away a good opportunity. I think there was definitely a foul in there.
We play on. Halifax took a little while to solve Montreal and their extended pressure too. It led to an early goal before they were able to assert themselves and make the game a little bit more back and forth. We're seeing a repeat of that, although not as many great chances for Vancouver early on as Montreal had. But, you know, Latifa Abdu in particular, she'll cause trouble in the first 5 minutes if you don't keep your eyes on her.
Yeah, she definitely has that capability. But I think right now for Halifax, the key is having to find that balance and strike that balance between staying true to your structure as well as applying that press. They all have to be on the same page when doing so, because Vancouver is a side that loves to possess. And as Stephen Hart had said to us, if you don't disrupt that, they will pick you apart. So that's going to be key to their game plan today and being able to disrupt that possession style that Vancouver loves to play.
Halifax, here they go. Kennedy. Nice pass to the top of the 6. It's disrupted by Vancouver, who get numbers back in the box. Reinforcements come. Sid Kennedy was somebody who last game was subbed in late in the match. Her impact was felt and now rewarded for her efforts to start here tonight.
That was a great ball through by Allen. She recognizes that Kennedy is making that run, and Kennedy attempts to get that ball back across. We've seen her find success with that cutback pass many, many times. She's been somebody that has been instrumental to the success of this Halifax side as they've continued to grow. So just a great play, and that's just, I think, a glimpse of what we're going to see when you put all the pieces together with an Amanda Allen, a Cameron, a Kennedy.
And there's another opportunity, and this is exactly what Halifax wants to see. They want to be unrelenting. They want to be unapologetic in their assertiveness, no matter their opponent, no matter the standings. Fermo comes up and is going to take this throw in. You see Kennedy go into position. Sophia Cedeno as well, who's on debut. A nice backheel pass to Fermo. That's turned away.
And the Meg, Ash. Can't forget the Meg.
Never forget the Meg. Cross to the 18. Halifax certainly flirting with it. Kennedy. Lemire taken down. Free kick for Halifax. This could amount to something.
And that's some quick feet by Lemire to be able to get that. Chang stepping in a little late, a little delayed, and ending up fouling her. You're seeing another look at the Meg here. You love it. And then another back heel by Cedeno back to Fremo. You love to see the craftiness and the cheekiness.
Sometimes you got to do it just because you can.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
We got Allen and Lemire over the ball. Lemire will vacate the premises and Allen will have her way. A laser trying to shoot it to the penalty spot. It ends up on the foot of Valorant. And she goes 1v1, taken down. No foul called. Play on. Brought down by Quinn, challenged immediately.
You're seeing Halifax attempt not to give Quinn any space and time, knowing that they have the capability to really control the dynamic of this game and swing it in the favor of Vancouver.
Quinn has drawn 2 fouls early in this match, and their stature is something that's frustrating for other midfielders. Hard to get around, which is what makes them so effective.
Absolutely. The patience aspect here that you're seeing from Halifax is great, but the ball needs to be moved quicker. That's the only way you're going to shift a very organized Vancouver side out of their structure and make someone commit to stepping forward to break them down.
Allen dribbling through a couple of Vancouver players, and now the ball ends up on the right side. Back heel from Kennedy, from cross, and it's shut down with the swiftness from Faulkner. But a fantastic build for Halifax, and they're looking for something.
This is a fun little play. Fremo plays that ball into Kennedy, who does the cute little back heel back to her.
Yeah, demure, very mindful.
But this is what you love to see, right? You like to see the quality, you love to see the cheekiness, and it ends up leading to a corner kick, which is better than nothing. She's obviously not able to get that cross off, but this is another opportunity to get a dangerous chance on goal.
It also speaks to the chemistry that this group is building to be on the same page. Corner kick is up and in, headed away, wrong direction, but positive signs from Halifax.
It's difficult to head a ball when you're already stationary or having to move backwards there. That's where you have to time your run. We're seeing another look at it here. This is a good delivery in. Nonetheless, she finds, I believe that's Olai's head, but she's a little bit too far in. She overcommitted before the ball was kicked in. So she has to start further back and time that so she can get some power in behind the header.
0-0 here at Wanderers grounds in Halifax. Vancouver on the road taking on the home side. 14 minutes into this match. Again, a lot has been made about the last time these two teams met, but no 2 games have even been close to being the same in this Northern Super League inaugural season. Anyone can win on any given night, and we're seeing a much more even matchup here as another Halifax player is taken to ground, and a free kick will come next. And I think one of the things that, you know, this Halifax side, Stephen Hart in particular, loves about Allen and Cameron and Valeron is fearlessness. They are a fresh start. They are an opportunity for a clean slate here in Halifax. Regardless of what happened before them, we're here. It's an opportunity now.
And you can see it. You can see how they elevate the play and just that mentality and that hard work and that they're bringing to this Halifax team already in the short time that they've been available to play.
Holly Ward, always dangerous on the ball, trying to utilize her speed, but that ball tips a little too far away from her, and now Halifax a chance to alleviate some of the pressure, except for Faulkner dives in. Play on, Quinn's on the ground. And I can't see Anya Heiner-Moller, but I can't believe she's thrilled about what just transpired.
Most definitely not. There is constant fouls on Quinn, as we've seen, in its attempt to shut them down, but it does look like they're still not back to their feet.
This is not something, of course, that you want to see as we get a second look here. Well in by Cameron on the first one, and then the second one, a little bit of contact here with the ankles of Quinn.
It looks like a bit of momentum and not being able to stop herself, and she ran right into Quinn. You see Cameron coming over to check on Quinn and just make sure that they're okay.
Now. Which, understandable. We talked about it off the top. Quinn has appeared in 10 matches, 9 starts prior to this evening, so some of those injury woes and injury trouble, it can be discouraging. If you get another knock, you don't want to be sidelined once again. But the training staff taking a look. Quinn up and seemingly ready to go. Stephen Hart somebody who doesn't give us much on the coaches' calls, I will say, and no shade, none of that, asking, you know, what are you going to do differently? Like, what kind of tactics needs to be implemented so the result is not the same? Not only your game against Vancouver the last time you played them, you know, a loss to Ottawa 1-0, a draw against Montreal 1-1. I guess you'll have to wait and see. Like, okay, coach.
He's holding his cards close to his chest, that's for sure. But, you know, from what he did give us, he mentioned that he thought that they gave Vancouver way too much time and space the first time they played, or excuse me, not the first time, the last time they had played, and they defensively they lacked that aggressiveness. So that is going to be huge for them. They have to be able to bring that mentality, and I hope that their confidence from their previous matches really translate into this one.
Okamoto displaced her first NSL start, despite appearing a couple of times for this Vancouver side. Mariah Lee comes in and gives Spremo a taste of her own medicine. Free kick here. That's the thing too. I do love a player that, you know, can dish it and take it. You have to be able to do both. If you're going to play a physical brand of soccer, then okay, you're going to expect a little something back. You
Without a doubt.
No maliciousness.
She got up quick. She bounced right back up.
Didn't even blink. Cameron alone. Doesn't make great contact, and that's the first chance Morgan McCaslin has had to get her hands on the ball and get comfortable in net.
We've seen Olai hit this ball quite a few times, and when the direct play is on, it works for Halifax, especially when you have a player like Cameron up there now. She doesn't connect with it as well as she could have on that, getting her laces right through the ball, so it doesn't really give a test to McCaslin, but nonetheless, those are the runs you want her making, and just hopefully she's able to crack the next one.
Okamoto, Quinn. Not too much action on the right side of this pitch for Vancouver, but looking to switch it up. Spencer moves the ball across to Coward, and now Faulkner. Ward turns and sees she has a ton of time. Ill-advised hit, and it's going to be turned over. Annika Leslie says, I've seen enough. That's going down the other way. We need to regroup. Need a moment of reprieve.
You mentioned, Ashley, that you're not seeing much action on that right side. It does look like Spencer is staying home a little bit, whereas you have Okamoto really getting forward and providing that overload on the left flank. Here she is again, not able to get on that ball specifically, but those overloads have always proven to be very helpful for Vancouver, specifically because they have such talented flank players in Ward and Pachursky. So to add, you know, the numbers up in those wide areas has always proven to be very helpful. But it does look like Spencer is the one that is sitting back in more of a back three at times, and Okamoto's really pushing forward to give numbers on that flank.
It's a great observation, partner, and honestly, not something we usually see from Spencer.
Exactly.
Who likes to creep up, and she likes to be in the action. Little FOMO usually, but nice that she has the versatility to play that role and say, okay, we'll give some freedom to the other side and see where it gets us. A nice give and go, and off to the races go Vancouver. That cross, trying to pick out Mariah Lee, unable to make the connection. As a great job defending by Halifax. But just in time, Spencer, who else, sets up the opportunity for that cross. Kennedy gets there first.
But with that, Ashley, you're seeing Spencer get forward, but Okamoto's also very high in that moment. So there does have to be that awareness at times. Obviously, it didn't bite them there because Halifax's passes didn't come off, but they have to be aware to find balance.
Pachursky, cross, back post. An opportunity there for Ward. And the aforementioned Okamoto now causing havoc. Quinn to Okamoto. We talked about the lack of action on the right-hand side of the pitch, but when Pechersky has gotten the opportunity, she's delivered 2-3 solid crosses so far tonight.
Yeah, she's a player that loves to go 1v1, and she's going to get delivery in the box, and we've seen her put great delivery in the box. Typically, it's not often you see Lisa Pechersky slip up and not put in a good cross. So on that one, there isn't enough runners at that back post. Could she have under-hit that slightly? Yes, absolutely. There was more runners closer to the middle and front post. But Lisa Pechersky is somebody that continues to really step up for this Vancouver side on a consistent basis.
1 goal in the 3-3 draw against Ottawa for Pechersky, a Toronto native. Started every match except one, 2 goals, 2 assists on the season. Possession that Stephen Hart and company were worried about is really on full display here. Vancouver, the majority of play in Halifax's half for the first 24 minutes. Quinn, opportunity, sends it to the far post. And that was a nice little setup there. Casual job from Vancouver, but Quinn, who else facilitating?
Well, this was a great turn by Quinn, and then an awesome ball across. Longhurst really driving forward and attempting to get on that, but it's not quite coming together for them. But right now, it's the final piece of the puzzle that's missing for Vancouver, but the buildup is there. You see them being very comfortable in possession, finding Quinn to really facilitate a lot through the midfield. Pechersky's been active. We've seen Ward. So right now, it's just that final piece of the puzzle that needs to come together for them.
But really, it's been something that they have solved in their previous matchups. We talked about it earlier. 3 against Ottawa. They've scored 2 against AFC Toronto, 6 against Halifax in their last 3 matches. And it's something earlier in the season, if it wasn't a PK, there wasn't a goal.
And Coach Heiner Muller also mentioned that it's been new for them to not score when momentum is not on their side, because they were able to come out and tie that game up with Ottawa twice when momentum really wasn't in their favor and Ottawa was dominating in those exact moments of the game. So this definitely is a Vancouver side that has developed and grown a ton. But right now, in these first 24 minutes, I would say it just hasn't been too clean on that final pass.
Well in by Faulkner to thwart Sid Kennedy's attempt to get into the 18. Longhurst saw her make that advantageous run just a moment ago. Now she's trying to work things out defensively for Vancouver. Pechersky all of a sudden teleports over to the left side of the pitch. Longhurst making a move. Trying to play it forward was Longhurst. The ball will stay with Vancouver. Had to double check, triple check. Lisa Pechersky, how'd you get over here? Hey. Anya Heiner-Muller saying, I asked her this week, can you tell when your team's about to put on a show? Are there signals, are there signs, are there vibes when you know your team through warm-ups, they're going to have a good game? She said, I have no idea, girl. Ashley, I wish I knew. She's like, sometimes I get worried. There's a little laughter, a little tee-heeing, and then they come out and they play like stars. She's like, so I just wait and see.
It's valid.
Prepare them and then wait and see.
It's valid. I've been on teams that showcase both. You know, you come in, you look super focused, and then you go out there and nothing comes together. But then there's the moments where, you know, you're just enjoying yourself in the locker room and laughing it up with your teammates, and you guys go out there and you absolutely ball out. So it's a valid point from her.
Vancouver once again on the front foot, cross coming. And that's raked into the red basket for Annika Toth. Using her in this match.
We're seeing another look at it here. Longhurst looks up and she drives this in, but it just goes straight to Toth, not giving Holly Ward much time to be able to get there and interrupt the passing lane.
Spencer has time and space. She'll take it on the dribble, chipping it up front, looking for Ward, but Framo able to collect and gives it back to Toth, who evacuates. And now it's a foot race. Spencer opts to play the angle instead of go for speed versus speed against Allen. Cameron in the box. Allen trying to demonstrate some flair, is marked by 2. Unfortunate crossing opportunity. And that attack is denied by Vancouver. Advantage, play on.
Halifax really needing to regroup on both sides of the ball right now. They're giving too much time and space to Vancouver to be able to create too much when they're coming out of the back. Specifically, there isn't enough competition on the ball. They're just letting it be. A bit of physicality here. Speaking of competition.
Holly Ward going toe-to-toe with Eva Framo, and a lot of physicality, a lot of frustration from Ward demonstrated on that. But you see Framo's frustration because she watched that ball lull itself out of bounds, and it was awarded a corner kick for Vancouver, and that's the source of the frustration. So we'll have Sam Chang on the delivery here. Big ball to the back post, trying to pick out Spencer.
It's well up by Valeron.
Your ex-teammate. We love to see. Well, that's why we love you having you on the call, Jessica Lisi, because not only do you know what you're talking about, you've lived it, and you know it brings a validity to the broadcast that we love to have in the NSL.
Ashley, you're making me blush. Thank you.
Clip that because it'll never happen again.
That's true. Everyone listening, just know that she never speaks that nice to me.
30 minutes into this match, 0-0, Halifax holding Vancouver at bay for now. It has been a highly Vancouver possession game. I'm excited to see those statistics at half. It's going to certainly be in the Rise's favor, but Halifax having a few opportunities in between the chances, but mostly just as you pointed out, when they go direct, when they don't waste time and they just get to getting.
It seems like they're overthinking at times when they do have time to make something happen. You were seeing earlier when Allen got on the ball, she stopped, she settled the ball, she looked around, but then the decision making that follows that is just not coming together for them, and they're rushing things.
See the possession, as I mentioned, 60 to 39 and change on both sides. So
you called it.
That does tell a story, and it's what we're seeing. But again, it's what you do with the possession. If you're just passive in possession, it's not going to amount to much. I think Vancouver's shown a nice balance, just unable to connect in the final elements.
Without a doubt, sometimes the possession numbers, the percentages, they don't tell the story that you're watching in front of you, but I would say that is an accurate description of what we've been seeing so far, both lacking a little bit of that clinical edge that is needed, but I would say Vancouver overall has really controlled the dynamic of this first half in their favor, whereas Halifax is having to pick their moments to really try to pounce and create something out of them.
Faulkner takes one touch and tries to get it up to Okamoto. A little too much on it, and it's a turnover. Halifax an opportunity now to build out of their own end. The revert back to Toth, who has some time and space. Annika Leslie under pressure. Release valve and Toth once more. And here comes this press as Vancouver start to send numbers. Just that focus is missing. Unfortunate by Marika Gay. That goes off her foot, rolls out of bounds, and Vancouver once again gets a mountain attack.
It's the simple things that need to be done right to give yourself a chance, and that's what Halifax is struggling with a little bit. It's those simple passes, that simple touch from Marika Gay. Obviously, you know, that's a one-off. Everyone's going to mess up here and there. So it's not specifically that, but just overall, I would say that's been a pretty big story in this first half. The rushing of decisions and the accuracy of the passing has really let them down.
Having to navigate tight quarters once again are Halifax as that pressure from Vancouver starts to get a little overbearing. Okamoto gets it into Ward. Longhurst. Lee header to Ward. Ward one touch, tries to crack it far post and well in. Trying to make something out of nothing, Holly Ward.
And Holly Ward is somebody that's been on fire lately and finding the back of the net. We've seen her be such a big contributor to their build-up and with her pace and her ability to go 1v1. But recently, in and around that 18, she's making things happen for her team. She's finding the back of the net. We saw her do that in the last game against Ottawa. She's able to find the back of the net and put her team ahead where they weren't able to hold it right to that final minute where Kayla Adamek was able to tie that game up. Very frustrating for them, but nonetheless a player that has stepped up and has continued to grow in who she is as this league continues on.
Pechersky taken to ground. Advantage loss, says our official, so free kick coming for Vancouver. Sam Chang walks over. And she'll look to pick someone out. Just kidding. She'll play it short and quick to Holly Ward, the aforementioned Ward, who had 1 goal and 1 assist against Ottawa. Takes it to the end line, but a great job defensively here from Halifax to win that one-on-one battle. Critical against someone like Ward. Ava Fromaux steps in, and that looks like it smarts. And here's another look at breaking up that play on the Halifax side.
It's actually Amanda Allen who got back there to fight with Ward and not let her create anything out of it. Well in from her.
Well, she did tell us before the match, as Ava Fromaux just takes a moment, looks like she might have gotten winded, that the one thing we can expect from Allen night in and night out is work rate. She said she is going to be unrelenting. She's going to be a problem, and to watch her come all the way back and get stuck in on the end line with Holly Ward, that's just proof of what she's talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's another look at what just happened to Fromaux. It does look like she might have gotten winded by the ball hitting her straight in the chest.
Chang sees daylight, looks up, and she'll send service into the box. Holly Ward trying to sneak behind the defense. Maybe hoping Fromaux mistimed the jump and gets a gift. Now Lee lays it off. But once again, Halifax doing a great job to not allow any of these Vancouver chances to be dangerous. Oh, big collision right at half, and that's a welcome to the NSL moment for Sofia Cedeno, but play continues on quickly here for Halifax. Allen, defended by Spencer. She comes top side on the 18, often won't drive to the end line. We saw it in the game against Montreal as well. Amy Walsh and I were remarking on it.
As someone who's right-footed playing on that left side, you find that a lot with players. They want to cut inside instead of driving in line and being forced to use that left foot. And we know Amanda Allen has the quality to use both feet.
Sid Kennedy, speaking of quality, she tries to get a shot on goal. The second opportunity also blocked by the defense.
But to your point, Ashley, she definitely should drive end line and create some opportunities from that.
Put Spencer in a bind. She's returning to where the help is. You know, she has the quality to beat maybe 1-2 defenders, sure, but some spacing. Head off from Cameron, and off we go. Speaking of Allen, and she's shut down by Spencer. What an effort from Jasmine Spencer. Last time we remarked about the foot race. This time she said turbo booster is on.
Well, you're seeing another look at it here, and we spoke about Cameron really being that target, and she gets a nice head off to Allen. Sets her up, Valeron getting in front and getting in there as well, but this is a great defensive effort by Spencer.
Oh my gosh.
She said, I'm gonna turn the jets on and you are not getting by me.
She was like 4 paces back.
But are we surprised?
I mean, I guess I sound surprised, so I can't say no, but I'm impressed.
I think that we've seen Jasmine Spencer step up on so many occasions, use her pace, use her physicality and her experience and how to get in between the ball and the player. So I'm not too surprised to see her step up once again.
Shout out Jasmine Spencer, 34 years old. Still got it. Corner kick here for Halifax. Inching towards the 40th minute in this first half. A good opportunity here for Halifax, who at times has had trouble with that clinical edge around the net. They opt for a short cross, and now second opportunity is swung in. No threat. Third chance, is it a charm? Oh, and so close. You see Cameron hunting for that, but rolls out of bounds.
That bounce just gets away from her, but she was ready.
Oh, she was not sleeping on that. Good things happen when you get the ball towards goal. That was the third chance of re-entry for Halifax. What's your take on the crosses where they don't apply pressure immediately, play a short ball, and try a re-entry later? Your preference, like they don't go cross right away right into the box, they play a short cross.
I was like, what is your question?
What's your take on it? Do you like it? I feel like sometimes it lets the defense off the hook a little bit.
Yeah, it does. I agree with you. It absolutely does. I think that initial cross needs to come quicker, and it needs to just be driven in and make it difficult for the defense. Honestly.
What's your question? So good.
Well, the way you worded it,
this time in English, I'll go. Good defense here by Halifax, and every time there's been something that's been Vancouver trying to take advantage, Amanda Allen has come in, swooped in, and made things challenging for this Rise side.
Okamoto's been very active on this left side for Vancouver so far in this first half, whether that's getting forward herself or just being an outlet to be able to swing that ball back across.
Ward doing her best to come up with it. Look at that second chance opportunity, putting in the work, and now charging towards the end line, held by Fremo. Advantage play on. That physicality between those two is something to remark on, and it's going to be a goal kick here for Halifax. Ward getting just kicked around.
This shows the grit of Holly Ward and how bad she wants to be here and wants to be doing what she's doing, but there's no reason for that. I think there's a card in that. Fremo is getting lucky here time and time again. You're talking about the good behavior rule, and she got lucky there. That is for sure.
Sid Kennedy in a foot race with Okamoto. Help comes from Faulkner. Halifax wanting to assert themselves before they go in for half. Instead, it's nearly a turnover. Kuchersky causing that turnover.
It's well in by Cedeno.
Cameron jockeying for position with Faulkner. No call from Mo. Gets it back to Cameron. Big contact. Play on. Strike from the top of the 18 and well in from Halifax, but I thought I knew what the line was in this match. Things are escalating in terms of physicality.
Yeah, I think the referee has to put her foot down at one point or the other. There's a little bit too much that's being let go. I love to see the physicality and let things play, but there also has to be that line, as you said, Ashley. There was the physicality that Faulkner put on Cameron, but there was advantage. She played it on, but then Iframe Mo coming through Faulkner. There just has to be that line.
Yeah, fair enough. Okamoto displaced. And you see Sid Kennedy calling for possession, but it stays with Vancouver. Quinn. Okamoto, one touch. And I feel as though Cedeno has been finding her stride a little bit more in these last 10 minutes, being a bit more disruptive, a bit more brave in her challenges.
Yeah, I agree. She's gritty. She's putting the work in, and that's something that we knew we were going to see from her. So it's great to see it on full display as she gets her first half in for this Halifax side.
Faulkner has had nothing but time and space back there. This time it goes Okamoto. Quinn up to Lee. She gets behind the back line. Does she have enough pace to save it? Cross in. And it's a late out of bounds call, goal kick for Halifax.
Quinn is causing a lot of issues for this Halifax side as they find those gaps off the shoulders of the Halifax midfielders. It's just way too easy. There's too much time and space for Vancouver, whether it's the initial pass into Quinn or after Quinn actually gets on the ball.
Allen called for a hold on Jasmine Spencer. She knew it, what she was doing. That was a business decision in those moments. Both women spending time in the NWSL last year. Angel City for Spencer, Orlando for Allen. And just 1 minute of added time here at the Wanderers grounds in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Sam Chang, nothing but blue jerseys. Meet that cross, and now Faulkner back to Coward. Okamoto patient. Quinn looks to change the field of play. Kuchersky creeping up.
You're seeing every first and second ball is being won by Vancouver. When Halifax does recollect it and you think that they're going to be able to do something with it, they kick it away and rush their decision making. So it really needs to be cleaned up on Halifax's side. Otherwise, Vancouver is going to continue to run with this momentum and potentially put that final piece of the puzzle together and get on the board.
No, that's a great point. It does feel like anytime there's a 50-50 ball, even if Halifax gets there first, Vancouver continues to assert themselves. Nonetheless, halftime here at the Wanderers grounds. Quinn and Vancouver 0-0. against Tiffany Cameron and the Halifax Tides. This is a much better situation Halifax finds themselves in than their last match against Vancouver, and anything can happen in the next 45.
I'm Kate McKenna, she's Amy Walsh, and a successful Super Saturday version 1. 3 matches, all 6 teams in action. And let's go through these, starting game number 1 at the Wanderers grounds. Halifax hosting Montreal. Montreal, the heavy favorites in this one, but it ends in a 1-1 draw.
And Halifax so far has had Montreal's number, but early on, it was again, just as it played out last week, it was Montreal getting on the board early on, a great slip pass through by Tanya Boychuk, and a great celebration again, which is just par for the course for NSL. And then Karima Lemire, who was spraying the ball all over the pitch for the Halifax Tides, a glaring, awful error by Karpenko coming out, mistiming that, and Amanda Allen, in only her second match for the Tides, opens her account in NSL.
Well, let's go to game number 2. It was at McMahon, AFC Toronto visiting the Calgary Wild, and Calgary opens the scoring, but the lead doesn't last.
Maggie the Mouse, as Lydia Bedford would say. Maggie Doherty-Howard, who is excellent on set pieces, and Michaela Moore, who is often the target, doesn't miss there and opens things early on for the Calgary Wild, but a poor clearance from Green drops the ball right to Kaylee Hunter, and she is not going to miss from there, and up to 8 now on the year for Hunter. And a great bit of footwork here in combination play. And Emma Regan, we've seen it before with the national team, but also for AFC Toronto, right from the D, screamer. And
Just
that
a
again,
banger.
on brand for NSL.
On brand, no kidding. You know what else was on brand? An exciting, thrilling match, the 3rd game of the day. This was in Vancouver at Swangard. A 3-3 tie, but goals back and forth. 4 goals in that first half, 2 more in the second half, teams trading leads, and Ottawa tying it up in the 92nd minute.
And goals again, leading scorer DB Pridham, who is being known for scoring goals in a myriad of ways, but also celebrations in a myriad of ways, and spurred on by Desi Scott, who partakes in the festivities as well. And then Quinn with perhaps their best performance for me of the year, other than that inaugural match. Great little layoff from Holly Ward, opens up their body, finds the far peg. And again, as was the theme, Ottawa answers, and Chu with a great little bit of individual skill, cuts the ball inside, stays with it, and beats the goalkeeper to the near post. And then here, what you don't want to see from a goalkeeper, lots of options, but plays it into pressure. And then Lisa Petruski pounces, and that is one perhaps that Ottawa would have wanted back, because on Holly Ward here, we've seen scoring boots firmly on in NSL. Great little touch, and then manages to beat Dajna at the near post. Like you said, Kate, goalkeeper never want to be beaten at the near post. And this was the curveball thrown to everybody. Looks like Vancouver is going to run away with it after a dominant second half that was all Vancouver. Field firmly tilted towards Dajna, but Adamic bowls over Weller and bowls over the fans at Swangard Stadium, because instead of taking all 3 points for Vancouver, it's a share of the points, and it feels like a victory for Ottawa on the day.
And certainly doesn't feel very good for the Vancouver Rise at all, who thought they had this one in the bag. But listen, Super Saturday lived up to its name. We had an extra time goal, we had a surprising result, and we had some outstanding celebrations.
In the words of Diana Matheson, it was just a concept or idea on a napkin, but 2 years ago it didn't even have teams.
Looking for the strike. Oh, now that's a finish. Northern Super League.
It will transcend the sport, the Northern Super League, for years to come.
It's time time for this Northern Super League halftime report presented by BMO. It's a scoreless draw here after 45. Halifax holding their water against Vancouver, who we don't have to talk about it anymore, but last time they faced each other 6-0 in favor of Vancouver. So a much better performance from Halifax, who they haven't had any prime scoring opportunities, Jess, but they've managed some pressure.
I think they've picked moments to really come out and come alive, and this was a great ball through by Allen into Sid Kennedy, who we know is always rushing forward and looking to create something. She's not able to get that pass off and that cut back. Fun little Meg here by Fremont, and she continues to get the ball afterwards, as well as St. Daniel plays her little back heel. The direct play has worked for them at moments, and you see Cameron really driving forward. She doesn't connect with it as well, doesn't drive her laces through it as well as she could have, but they have had their moments. Overall, though, I would say they really need to pick it up.
Shout out to Jocelyn. Look at her. Everybody loves her. And let's take a look at Vancouver because, listen, we don't need to tell you twice what Holly Ward has managed to do for this side. 3 goals, 4 assists so far this season, and she's hunting for another one.
We're seeing a lot of grit out of Holly Ward today. She is bringing it. We know that she has picked it up in regards to finding the back of the net so far this season, but you're seeing here she just keeps going. She's resilient. She's going to keep the ball, drive end line, draw fouls. There hasn't been too many called on her.
Well, yeah.
But she's creating things and making things happen for them.
She's fighting for her life on some of those possessions, but she's also standing her ground, which is nice to see from a young player. Now, if you're a Halifax Tides fan, this possession number is not nice to see. Just under 40%, 60 for Vancouver, and it's absolutely felt like it. Vancouver has been able to do what they want, when they want, the entire first half, and it starts with their control of the midfield. You never know, though, what can happen in the final 45, which is on deck. But coming back from this break, hey, it was Super Saturday, so we have highlights from the 2 matches that we've already seen today.
And Amy Walsh with you, and a massive victory recently for AFC Toronto's Esther Okoronkwo. She helped Nigeria win the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, a come-from-behind win against Morocco. 1 goal, 2 assists for her. What stood out to you about her performance?
I think it was how authoritative she was. She came on and she grabbed this game by the scruff of its neck and led this team to a comeback. They were trailing 2-0 after the first half. And Esther Okoronkwo, who played the entirety of the group stages coming on as a substitute, started as soon as her team made it through the knockouts, and she just grabbed this team to its victory and led the way, not only in scoring herself, but playing provider and just being an absolutely key player and player of the match for Nigeria on their way to the WAFCON title.
You have to think this gives her some major swagger. I mean, this image says it all. Look at 2 trophies, the shades. That's the swagger of a champion right there.
It is, and if anybody follows Esther Okoronkwo on socials, you know that she has that swagger, she has that kind of vibe about her. So I think the performance just lived up to the tone that she sets herself on her socials.
She's an aura farmer from the start.
Yeah, there we go.
Listen, we learned something about Esther Okoronkwo during this tournament. She's not just a scorer, she's a bit of a set-piece specialist.
I know, who knew? We knew she had a wand of a left foot. We've seen it in NSL, scoring from distance, scoring from close range. But the way that she was teeing up her teammates here, whether she was from a more central area or off in the channel, she just had a way where she was just manipulating the ball, just kind of caressing it, coaxing it in, whipping it in with pace, or maybe like a more nuanced finish. But she had everything in her locker as the set-piece specialist. So maybe for AFC Toronto and Marco Milanovic, maybe this is a good headache for AFC, where they've usually got Colby Barnett. We know she's got the great left foot. You've got Emma Regan as a national team stalwart in there. Now you've got Esther Okoronkwo, who's not only scoring the goals, but can set them up too.
Some impressive statistics here. 6 games, 2 goals, 6 assists, an outstanding performance from her. And just great for the league too, Amy, to have a player of this pedigree in the NSL.
It brings more eyeballs to this league, more eyeballs to Esther Okoronkwo and AFC Toronto. But I think more importantly, in its inaugural year, it's putting this league, it's putting the world on notice, and it's putting the league in the shop window.
A fantastic achievement. Congratulations to Esther Okoronkwo.
Thank you so much for our halftime report, and we love us some Esther Okoronkwo showing out for Nigeria, showing out for the NSL, and we have a lot of action from this weekend, but right now it's 0-0 here at halftime at the Wanderers grounds. So let's take a look at what started it all. Jess, you were on this call, so you had a first-hand look at this AFC Toronto-Montreal Roses matchup.
I did, and this is a great testament to what Toronto is capable of. Kaylee Hunter looks up here, finds Strategakis, who's waiting for that ball. She looks up and plays an early cross over to Nikki Small, who we know is going to go in confident and calm, and she places that by Karpenko like a true pro. And then, of course, a fun little celebration to end it off per usual. But then you look at this one, and this one is one to talk about. Kayla Hansen wins this, plays it in. Okoronkwo with the chest play into Hunter, who recognizes that Karpenko is out of position, and she chips her from about the halfway point. And again, some more fun celebrations.
No worse feeling from a goalkeeper when that happens to you. And then what a beauty from Stephanie Hill, trying to bring things closer in extra time from Montreal, her 3rd of the season.
That's what you want, right? You want to fight that final moment.
The Calgary-Ottawa game had a few less fireworks, but nonetheless, some good chances in this one from both sides.
Well, you know that if there's going to be chances in a game, Pridham is going to be involved, but this is cleared off the line. Nonetheless, everyone else was probably on the edge of their seat thinking this is it. I think Pridham thought that was going in, but Calgary clearing that right off the line.
And then another chance and a great save. Both teams trying to find their way to 3 points in this match, but it would come later. 77th minute.
But this is where things turned around. Savitsky getting in and putting it into the back of the net. She follows that up to make sure that that is crossing the line. You're seeing it closer here. She falls and gets right back up, and she is heading that into the back of the net.
Here are the final results. AFC Toronto taking down Montreal, as we just saw Calgary 1-0 over Ottawa Rapid FC, and TBD the results of this 3rd game on this NSL Super Saturday presented by BMO. The sun is setting. Things are setting up to be really exciting in this final 45 at Wanderers grounds. Stick around. I know we will.
Post and in. It's the goal they've been waiting for.
That is a highlight we will see over and over and over again. That is absolutely world class. Oh my goodness.
This is NSL Super Saturday presented by BMO. It is the third and final match here at Wanderers Grounds. Halifax hosting Vancouver, looking for redemption, and so far the Halifax Tides have held their ground, and to see the smiling faces of the fans loving this performance of redemption. But one thing, Jess, that we did talk about, and I'm wondering the adjustment at half, we really feel like Halifax has been narrowing the field of play, potentially losing some opportunities that they might have otherwise had.
Yeah, Halifax is a team that in the past we've seen them find success when they do use their flank play, drive end line, and get those balls and those cutbacks into the box. Now there's obviously new players in the mix. You have some versatility in the type and the variety that you're playing in the attack, whether that's a direct ball over to Cameron or to her feet where she's able to play that ball through. But nonetheless, I'd love to see both Allen and Kennedy more involved in being able to drive end line and getting delivery into the box. Overall, that aggressiveness and that ruthlessness that they have in these players just hasn't been showcased in that first half.
And on the Vancouver side of things, one substitution to start off the second half. Jessica DiFilippo is in. Josie Longhurst has completed her contributions for the evening. And, you know, Jessica DiFilippo, I know, Jess, is someone that you hold in just such high regard.
Yeah, I think she's a special player. She has the ability to really change the attack that we've seen from Vancouver. She is a confident player. She knows what she's doing, and that's something that Coach Heiner Muller mentioned. She's the first one to make that move and really initiate the movement up front. So she's coming off the front, and that allows and cues the other players around her to do what they have to do. They know that if she's coming off the front, they're making that diagonal run, or, you know, so on and so forth, whatever the role may be. But she's somebody that really leads when she's out there, and she brings that grit and she brings that fight. She's very purposeful in the movements that she's making, and if you get the ball into the box, you want Jessica DiFilippo in there because she will make things happen.
A little collision there. It looked like Lee and Valerand, and everyone seems to be in working order, so we continue. For the Vancouver side, however, they have obviously managed possession quite well, lacking a little bit of that connection in the final third as we have another injury here. So we'll take a moment for Lemire to get back to her feet, but Vancouver just need to focus on the finish.
It's that final pass.
There.
It's that final piece of the puzzle. The buildup is absolutely there. They're confident and moving the ball around with pace to really break this Halifax team down. They're given a lot of space, time and space on the ball to make those decisions. But again, it's the execution of the final pass or the final cross, or sometimes the shot that is just not quite coming together for them.
Kennedy almost able to bring that down. Spencer intervenes and sends the ball back the other way. Nearly trouble for Halifax, but that ball bounces out of bounds, and Lee protesting. Halifax regains possession. Ball don't lie. They get it back. Vancouver are well on their way. Ward broken up by Fremont. Those two have had an exceptional battle so far. Very, very physical. Allen tries to turn, but it turns over. Reinforcements come in the way of Fremont, and Halifax keep finding themselves cornered by this pressure from Vancouver. Kuchersky, wide to Lee. One-time cross, back post. And there were two runners. An opportunity there for Vancouver, but that final touch just out of reach.
That's a great ball in by Lee. She recognizes that DiFilippo is in there, as well as Ward is attempting to get in the box on time. It's just slightly too far ahead of them, but you see the bit of the spin on that. DiFilippo's too far back, and so is Ward, but that is the idea. Again, Ashley, as you said, that final piece coming together, but the idea's there, the execution is just lacking right now.
It feels like if Vancouver's able to get past that, it's going to be kind of the dam breaking. Halifax would do well to try and apply some pressure here and, you know, even find the back of the net first.
It's true, it takes one moment for somebody to capitalize on, and everything changes.
Great job by Fremont to extend herself and break up that pass forward. Intended target Ward. Quinn on the turn, Spencer. Pacey over to Lee. Lee remains in possession. That cross, and that had potential for danger, but well in from Annika Toth. Going up and getting it.
It's a good ball in. We're seeing how active Lee is on this flank. She's getting delivery into the box. That's what Vancouver needs. That's where they thrive. You have Jessica DiFilippo now in the box, trying to make her presence known. So far, these crosses haven't quite landed on her head or on her foot, but the idea's there. Now that execution is slowly coming together, I would say. They're getting better, the crosses, but they just haven't fully pieced them together yet.
Here's once more Mariah Lee asserting herself and trying to create something for her side.
Toth does well to get up there as well, but you do see DiFilippo is nearby and ready to pounce. Lee needs to continue to do what she's doing because she's coming alive on this right side and creating a lot of issues for the Halifax back line.
Quinn trying to source out Ward. Physicality abounds. Advantage played on. That ball gifted to Cameron. She has a runner. Allen. Oh, and a nice job of the tandem in the back for Vancouver to get rid of that opportunity, because that's how Allen scored in the last match, taking advantage of a misplay.
Yeah, this is a misplay by Faulkner, and you see Cameron collect that, and Allen making her run forward, trying to get something off, some frustration afterwards as she's not able to connect with it in such a crucial spot on the pitch.
Allen, somebody this Halifax side has very high expectations of. She has them of herself as well, out of Mississauga, Ontario. Again, scored in her second appearance for this Halifax side against Montreal in the 1-1 draw.
It's a nice touch by Quinn to evade that pressure.
Toth has been a fan of just launching it to half. The problem, Vancouver's winning 90% of the 50-50 balls, and now Paczerski on the front foot. She opts to go centrally, had Mariah Lee on the right flank. Turnover. Two overlapping runs, and now it ends up on the foot of Allen. Ward in pursuit, Quinn in pursuit. Okamoto as well. A great retreat from the rise, really. Paczerski. Again, goes centrally. DiFilippo turns. The strike, that takes a weird bounce off the block. I believe it was the leg of Lemire. We'll take another look right now to confirm.
Yeah, this is great build-up. Paczerski does well and gets that ball to DiFilippo. Some craftiness from her, and it looks like it redirects off of Lemire, which keeps it from going directly at goal. Toth able to keep that out, but it did definitely take a bit of a redirection and weird bounce.
Those ones are scary from a goalkeeper perspective because you're anticipating so much and you're set and you kind of jump into your athletic stance getting ready to pounce, and then those last seconds, it can really cause a lot of trouble. So well in by Toth.
Another thing to make note of, Ashley, is off air we were speaking about wanting to see Amanda Allen on that right flank and Sid Kennedy on the left. It looks like they actually did make that change in the second half.
We have a direct line to Stephen Hart. Hey, coach, listen.
I think this is where they can thrive. Amanda Allen is somebody that can put the ball in the box. She's very good 1v1 driving end line, but as we mentioned in that first half, she doesn't really love to drive end line on her left foot, whereas Sid Kennedy definitely does.
Allen looking for the aforementioned Kennedy. Jasmine Spencer says no thank you, but you can see her rallying the troops, not liking the opportunities that Halifax have been developing here in the second half. Kennedy cross. McCaslin. Well in.
Seeing it again here, then building out with that back three and really getting numbers forward.
Unfortunate touch, Lemire trying to get it out wide, and that rolls out of bounds. Vancouver takeover, inching toward the final third. Spencer. Paczerski drives end line, cross, cuts it back. That one had Holly Ward's name all over it, and the play is blown dead from contact in the 18.
This is well done by Paczerski. She drives end line. She continues to go forward and take players on, but it looks like Holly Ward wasn't able to time her run, and her momentum actually caused her to go through the Halifax player, which obviously got blown down for a foul in the end.
Valeron funnels it back through Annika Leslie. Nice little piece of skill, and off Halifax goes. Olai to Fremont. Oh, trying to pick her spot, looking for Cameron. And that would make you hold your breath.
That's a great ball in, and the early recognition and early cross is not something that's easy to do. A lot of players would have tried to take that up the line, but you see her look up and recognize that Cameron is wide open.
Oh. The Tides looking to poke and prod and find a way through. Tap over the top to Kennedy is broken up.
Seeing that confidence build a little bit from the Halifax side, where they're finding the option that is easy and is simple and keeping the ball and trying not to force it and being patient. So it has been a little bit better from them in the second half in regards to their decision making and their patience when they are physically on the ball.
Well, and they demonstrated the fortitude and perseverance against Montreal, being able to weather the storm, going down 1-0 early, coming back, scoring again. And so now they've weathered some of this Vancouver pressure, and it's their opportunity to have a counterpunch. Why not have a go?
Seeing that hustle from Sid Kennedy to get in behind the ball. She's a player that constantly showcases herself on both sides of the ball and that grit, and you can just see how bad she wants it every single time she steps out on the pitch.
Quinn, a nice ball out to Lee. Lee 1v1. Oh, get stuck in, would you? Fantastic job. And off we go. Cameron, a foot race. Cuts into the right. Oh, and she puts it right into the waiting hands of Morgan McCaslin.
The direct play has proven to be something that works for them at times. Obviously, it's not going to be something that's on time and time again, but when you have a player like Cameron who is eager to break that line and you recognize that a team like Vancouver is pressed forward with numbers, those are on, those plays are on, and you see it here and how it translates, and Valeron playing this great ball over the top and recognizing it, and Cameron timing her run, using her pace, but she cuts back to her right foot. She definitely could have struck that with her left foot on the initial ball. She slowed herself down and allowed Vancouver to catch up to her, but nonetheless, that pressure forced her to shoot straight into the hands of McCaslin.
A great build-up from Halifax, who now call on reinforcements. The evening is over for Marika Gay. The debut is over for Sofia Cedeno in terms of her first debut, her first professional start. That announcement, the signing, they're like, we signed her, she's on. There was no time to waste. And coming in relief, Sorola Miller, as well as Anne-Valerie Seto. Let's see what they can do, bring in that spark for Halifax, who now start to push the pace. Little tap on the wrist for taking that throw in a little too far. I mean, is that just a rite of passage in soccer? If the throw-in spot is here, it's actually 7 yards higher.
This is true.
Up the pitch.
This is true.
That's math. All right.
I've never done that, Ashley.
You don't take throw-ins. You're a striker. You're like, give me the ball to my feet. Let me turn. Met with resistance from Ward. That one's gonna cause some problems. We hear the whistle get blown. Ward refuses to be bullied in that matchup with Fremo.
This has been a fun one to watch so far. Neither of these ladies are willing to back down. They're going in hard. You see a push from behind there. There's definitely the foul. So right call by the referee in that instance. We've seen her let quite a few go so far in this matchup.
As soon as the hands start to get away from your own body, that's usually when you're going to get dinged. The clutching and grabbing in close, sometimes it's hard to see, hard to tell, depending on the angle. But yeah, pretty blatant from Ward on that one. But back and forth we go. Well in by Chang. DiFilippo gets interrupted by Lemire, but it falls to Paczerski. And a piece of that, it looked like from the defense, that ball prattles out of bounds, and corner kick now for the Rise.
You see that winning mentality from DiFilippo, who is not going to let that ball get away from her. She is able to come back, slide tackle, get a touch on that ball, and find Paczerski, who strikes that quickly with her left foot, which is absolutely the right thing to do in that instance. And we've seen Paczerski score all kinds of goals so far this season, and now she's able to get this corner kick to give her team another shot and chance at putting themselves on the board.
But first, a substitution. Nikki Stanton, number 7, is going to take the pitch. match. Mariah Lee's evening is over. She started today after starting all season, but missing starts in the last 3 matches, so making her return to the first 11. But now Stanton has a chance to try and change the course of this game. Ooh, stepped into that one. A big one-time opportunity from Quinn.
This is a nice driven ball on the floor by Chang. She finds Quinn, who's coming in and strikes this, isn't able to keep their body over top of the ball, which causes it to sky over the bar. But that's a great play by Chang.
And Quinn puts their back into it. You can sense the urgency, the frustration, you know, when you're right there knocking on the doorstep, you just want to see the ball go into the back of the net, go into the back of goal. And I'm excited to see who breaks the ice first here as Halifax get on the move. Deflection. Allen trying to force the issue. Miller's there as well. And often we haven't seen the numbers for Halifax, so it's nice to see the reinforcements. Valorant, dynamic and dangerous. Sid Kennedy says, I have a ton of time. Whips that in with their left, looking for Cameron. Kennedy.
That ball just out of reach of Miller.
Valorant protesting. We'll get another look at it here. What do you think? Gets into the mix with Jessica DiFilippo?
I think she does, but I think the ball's already far enough from DiFilippo that it could be played on. The initial contact is with the ball. It's out of DiFilippo's reach. It didn't really mess up an opportunity, so I would have let that one play on if I was the referee out there in yellow.
If you were in yellow. Play on in this one as well. Back and forth, here we go as both sides looking to control the midfield. That was seemingly a blatant handball that was been allowed to play on from Ava Framo. Crowd getting restless.
Seeing Vancouver with numbers around the ball every time Halifax is on it. They're ready to pounce, and if they're getting by that first line, there's another player waiting for them to break up the play. So that's well in from Vancouver in regards to keeping their structure, but also applying that bit of needed pressure.
Halifax is going to break through. It's not going to come easily.
Good wow. Anticipation. Anticipation by Spencer.
I knew you'd get there, partner. I had faith this whole time.
Third time's a charm.
Paczurski making waves in the middle of the pitch. Laid off once again to her, trying to go out to the left side. Defense converges. Now Quinn turns. Spencer. Cross. DiFilippo. Oh, Lemire able to break it up. And now Cameron, we've seen her in the counterattack before. What can she do this time? Clutching and grabbing. I thought she was going to outpace Faulkner there, but now Allen into the picture. Crack at it, goes Halifax way up and over. And that Cameron transition opportunity as Seto tried to get on that.
I'm going to be honest, I have questions.
Okay.
I have some questions. I think, Cameron, okay, obviously this ball is skied, but if we go back to Cameron's opportunity, she did have Faulkner beat. I'm not too sure if Faulkner had too much of a handful of her jersey for her not to be able to continue. But she did run across her. She had her beat. She did everything she needed to do, and she would have been running 1v1 with the final defender. So I would have loved to see her continue driving forward because we know she's capable of it, but it might have just been a little bit of a difficult situation with the grabbing and pulling there.
Pachurski once again opts to go inside. Spencer finds the ball at her feet. 1v1, Valorant able to get the better of her, but it's the second effort from Spencer. Quinn. Spencer turns. Pachurski, will this be the moment? Quinn. Looking to chip it to Chang. Well in by Halifax. Miller able to break it up and flirting with danger here at Halifax.
There's a lot of gritty hecticness going on right now between both sides. You're seeing one team gain possession and it being broken up, and it's just going back and forth in constant transitional moments, which is making this game very hectic at the moment. Neither team really coming together and having those clean executions in the final third.
This is pretty clean by Valorant, however, as advertised. Definitely earning her paycheck tonight, facing down Jasmine Spencer, making it look easy.
That was well up by Coward as well. You saw just the right amount of distance between her and Cameron where she's able to get up and win that ball initially.
Chang calling for a through ball. Instead it goes out wide right. Pachurski, one touch, cross. Too much on it. And that rolls right out of bounds. You can see them trying to communicate what we were looking for, what was the intention.
We spoke about DiFilippo before and the presence that she has and what she brings to this attack. And you're seeing there, her coming off the front allows a lot of rotation. Sam Chang breaking that line, and it leads to dangerous chances being created. Obviously, Pachurski not able to get that cross off. We know that's something that's out of character for her. We've seen her produce for this team time and time again in big moments. So, but nonetheless, that was an opportunity that they need to continue to create, because that is driven by Jessica DiFilippo coming off the front, by Pachurski pulling out wide, by Sam Chang driving inwards and crashing into the box.
Third minute here at the Wanderers grounds. Halifax hosting Vancouver. The lights are now on at the pitch. The sun has set, but it's anyone's game. Halifax holding their own. Vancouver continuing to press, looking for that final touch. Chang, does she have it? And she sends a low, hard shot, and it's able to be collected by Toth.
Had she connected with this, that wouldn't be the first time that Sam Chang is scoring from that distance. She's definitely capable, so you'd love to see her try it. Toth holding on to that well, not tested too much. We know that Toth is a very quality keeper, and it's going to take a little more than that to test her. But those are the chances they need to continue to create. Sam Chang needs to try it. She's somebody that has proven that she can score from that distance.
Well, and this is a substitution that we've been waiting on, quite frankly. You have Faulkner, whose night is over, and then you have the youth development player, Bridget Mutipula, and she is coming in, making her first appearance in an NSL game. We'll hold that thought. Holly Ward, turn and kick. DiFilippo hits the turf. Spencer, handball. We'll see if that's what's called here. It looks like it. Spencer forcing the issue and draws the free kick.
Holly Ward does well to find DiFilippo's feet. DiFilippo turns. This is well blocked. Quinn's not able to get there, but Spencer is, and this redirects out of bounds.
Big moment here for Vancouver, 74 minutes into the match. See 5 in the wall. Getting set up by Annika Toth. Tense moments here for the home side. DiFilippo goes direct. Not too much of a threat for Toth to worry about. And collects that calmly.
It's an interesting decision for her to strike that with her left foot from there when you have Sam Chang also standing over the ball and very capable of striking it with her right, or if DiFilippo is taking it for her to strike it with her right on her strong foot. Just not much of a test there.
Sarah Olai tries to force the issue and contact. And you see some of the protest here from the youth development player in Bridget Mutapula, and she is making her NSL debut. Grew up in Halifax, which is why we thought that this moment was coming, an opportunity for her to take the pitch in a pro situation in front of the home crowd. But nonetheless, she's called for the foul there, and now it's Halifax who gets to draw something up. Miller. Valorant, one touch, punches it through. The rebound looked attractive after that was blocked, but it had too much spin on it and it found its way out of bounds.
That's well up by DiFilippo the first time around to clear that and win that ball, but Valorant right there to collect that clearance and try to create something dangerous out of it. It looks like she might have hurt her ankle when she got that deflection.
While we wait for Valorant to recover, we're going to get Sid Kennedy out. Millie Clegg is going to come in. And then Amanda Allen's night is over. And it's Daphne Blue trying to be the difference maker. Clegg is somebody who's started 10 matches for this Halifax side, native of New Zealand. You can hear the joy from the crowd. It's actually music to my ears because you can tell the home side is just enjoying the performance that's being put on right now. See, let's go Bridget. Always great to have these moments in professional sports. And I love the fact that managers and coaching staff are aware of these moments and they lean into them because it's really what it's all about. You work your whole life for a moment like that. And you get to live it out here in front of the people that you love the most.
Without a doubt, it's very exciting moment for her. I'm sure for her family, they're probably really hyped up watching this. I know she's hyped up stepping out onto the pitch. I would be, that's for sure.
That one has a little too much height on it. And Millie Clegg can't get on the end of it, looking to redirect with a header.
They had the wave going before too. I'm not sure if you noticed that.
I am unfortunately anti-wave.
Oh, well, I was over here doing the wave in the booth.
I know it's a hot button issue. Join us on NSL After Dark as we go into the pros and cons of the wave. Clegg is somebody who this Halifax side expect big things out of. She became available in May and they eased her in. You know, she played in the NWSL for race in Louisville. She's played in international territories and she's played in the World Cup, the Olympics for New Zealand. And this Halifax team, they want to get as much out of her, wring as much out of her as they can.
She's someone I'm cheering for because you know that she has all the qualities to be great, and obviously you just listed all of the international experience she has, so she definitely has some experience under her belt, but I don't think we've seen the best of her as of yet. She's a player that has a lot to show, I would say, and we haven't seen it. She hasn't found that clinical edge and that footing in the final third, which is exactly what you want from your forwards. And obviously this Halifax side has been struggling overall in finding wins, so she definitely needs to step up a little bit and just be able to find that confidence and that footing in the final third to help her side.
The rise in a counterattack moment. That ball potentially intended for Sam Chang. Broken up by Halifax, but errant pass up the pitch, and now Vancouver regain possession. Quinn turns. Rare turnover. But as we've been saying, right back. Out wide to Ward. Defended by Fremont. Takes her end line, crosses it back, can't get enough on it, and it's going to be Seto who's able to clear.
You're seeing Halifax drop a lot of players back, leaving a lone striker up top, and that makes it very difficult to create something dangerous when they do regain. They're forcing it back up front, hoping that someone will get on it, but instead Vancouver is just recollecting and once again starting out their attack and build-up.
Oh, a nice tap on. It goes to the foot of Clegg, and she's off. Cutting in a little bit to the right. Striking is blocked. Spencer swoops in, plays hero, and now will take the time and space to dribble. Oh, she tries to search out Ward. Sending her back in the trenches with Fremont. All ball, says our official. We move. Miller sidesteps the defense. She'll take a look. Rebound! Oh! Heartbreaking, Millie Clegg. And you can see the frustration on her face, the pain almost. And Jess, you were just talking about it.
There has to be a certain confidence. As a striker, when you get in your head, you really throw yourself off, even on the easiest of chances. And you saw just right before this, she was running on a semi-breakaway, and instead of going left, she tries to force it right, screws up the breakaway, and then now she gets another opportunity where she's alone in the box with an easy tap-in off a rebound, and she struggles to finish that because she's already in her head.
Clegg had McCaslin dead to rights and gave the gift back. Frustrating. Redemption opportunity. However, there's still time in this match, plus added time. Cameron, cross, loose ball, rebound, Clegg! Oh! Well in by Vancouver, defending those opportunities because gifts aplenty. It's giving Christmas. Lisa Pachersky, pat yourself on the back, girl.
Look, it's quite simple. McCaslin needs to be better. There's no way that these opportunities should be happening. This is a nice strike by Miller. She lets this rebound out. Clegg needs to be better. It's very simple. There's no other way to break that down. But then this ball, there's no reason that this should be going through McCaslin's hands. And Bluen is right there, but she isn't able to get there in time to redirect it and be facing goal. So she tries to find Clegg, who isn't able to get there in time. But that grit and that hunger needs to be there from Clegg. You saw Blouin, she's getting in. It just has to be better. There's so many ways to sugarcoat it, but it just simply has to be better from Clegg.
And they know that.
Absolutely, they know that.
Regardless of the result here, they're going to go back and watch that, and those opportunities are going to be harped on by Coach Hart for a number of reasons, but also, I think, to say we're in these games and things are so close and we're shooting ourselves in the foot because we're not even giving ourselves a chance to play with the lead or apply pressure to our opponents.
The frustrating part as a striker is it's not that you look at Clegg and it's because there's a lack of quality, because you absolutely know that she has the quality to finish those.
For sure.
She's in this league. Any player in this league can finish those opportunities, but it's when you get in your head, you throw everything off. It's almost like your feet and your brain are on two different pages and you know exactly what you need to do, but your body's just not quite doing it because you're thinking about it way too hard. So she just has to regroup in her brain and find that confidence in herself and go back to what she's great at.
DiFilippo trying to chip that cross a little bit too much on it. It goes over the crossbar, out of bounds. We have the crowd at Wanderers grounds on their feet as they feel the end is near. Less than 5 minutes, then plus stoppage time.
Well done.
Blouin. Miller. Clegg! She can't buy one. And there almost are no words.
But you're seeing it. You're seeing it in her body language before the ball comes to her. She doesn't want it. She's nervous. She's leaning back already, initially not ready for it. And this is a great buildup, by the way, by Blouin. She has the entire net to look at. It's just her and McCaslin, but she overthinks it and gets in her head before it's even at her foot.
Blouin hits the ground, no foul. Spencer also upside down, and now it's DiFilippo. There has been a momentum shift here, though, since the last round of substitutions by Halifax. 2-3 prime scoring opportunities. And how about this counter from Vancouver? Ward finding Filippo, selling out, just can't get enough on it. And we have a Halifax player down in the box as Filippo takes a moment to herself as well.
You're seeing the game plan from Vancouver switch slightly since DiFilippo has stepped in. We know that when Mariah Lee is on the pitch, she is looking to get in behind and break those lines and make things happen. You got three pacey players up there. But when DiFilippo comes into the mix, you see Vancouver really utilize the flanks and try to get those crosses in the box. And you see her put her body on the line time and time again. But Halifax is aware of the threat that she poses. And you see Valeron putting her body on the line, not allowing DiFilippo to get a clear-cut shot or piece of her body on that. But this second half so far, the second portion of this second half, Halifax has really stepped up. They've stepped up and they've brought a lot to the second half and creating opportunities. There's another look at Valeron going down and the injury.
It doesn't look like too much of an awkward fall, so hoping it's something as simple as a leg cramp or just needing a moment.
She's taken a few hits today, so it might just be something that's lingering. And
yeah, block shot earlier. She went down. Yep.
Sometimes you just need a moment to regroup.
Can I just get a second, please? We have a substitution waiting in the wings. Looks like Kylie Norkus is going to be taking the pitch. We'll let you know who she's coming in for as soon as we do. So Norkus is going to come in for Julianne Valeron. And on the Vancouver side, well in by Jasmine Spencer. She's been making her mark on this entire match. No surprise there. Jalen Wright is now going to come in and hold down the fort. Wright out of Quebec, Canada. She played for Utah Valley in the NCAA D1. Started last match, played 45 minutes. Now she'll get an opportunity here just to hold things down for the Rise, who are trying to get those 3 points, and a bit of a rush job from Sam Chang. Blouin been impactful in her few minutes here, gets it to Cameron, but that's taken away by Okamoto. And again, this ping pong style that we've seen quite a bit in this match continues here in the late second half.
You're seeing a bit of that frustration come out from both ends, both teams not able to capitalize on the opportunities that they've created. You're seeing Blouin just topple right over top of Mutipula.
Quinn controlling the midfield, lays it off. Lemire intercepts, and that's official. 5 minutes of stoppage time.
There will be a minimum of 5 minutes of added time.
Thank you to the PA announcer.
Well, Ashley, Coach Einermuller said that she knew that this was going to be a different Halifax team than they faced that day that they were able to get a 6-0 victory, and we're already seeing that. We saw Halifax wanted it. They came out hungry the first half, not going their way. I would say there wasn't enough grit defensively. They weren't coming together in the final third. In the second half, we're seeing those pieces come together, but that final execution on goal just lacking from them.
Another collision here. Sees Nikki Stanton go to ground. Take another look. Seto dives in. Blouin also gets stuck in. Four minutes left for Halifax to try and capture points for just the 6th time this season. This has been a very exciting, big collision. And a moment for Annika Toth, please.
See Stanton look up and play that ball over top to Pachursky.
And friendly fire.
Leslie's not able to stop herself and ends up colliding with Toth.
Good to see her up and well. And this has been a really exciting day of NSL soccer presented by BMO. A Super Saturday here for the 2nd weekend in a row. 0-0 so far, but both teams have the ability to put one in the back of the nets. Will somebody break this tie here in the next 3 minutes at the Wanderers grounds? I know everybody in the stands is rooting for one side in particular to try and break this tie. You know, we talk sometimes, Jess, about moral victories, and it's easy to say for a team like Halifax who's struggled to get results, as Norcus clears that, a draw and getting away with 1 point. Hey, a win's a win. But this is a team with pride. This is a team with expectations. And so to go and score here, I think that they would feel like they're deserving of that result as well.
I think there have been results for Halifax that most definitely they deserve to lose. But there are also a lot of results that they could have taken some points from, and it's because of those opportunities that they're not finishing. So it's not because they're a last place team. They're most definitely not.
Blouin trying to force the issue, almost on cue. She said, I'll show last place team. Let me give you a run.
You're seeing this here. They're trying to capitalize right off of a drop kick, and Blouin using her physicality, but it gets the best of her at the end.
Right, but a well done job by the youth development player, Bridget Mutipula, to hold her ground in a high leverage situation as well. If she's not there, that's Blouin in all alone. Miller gets dragged. Advantage lost. That's a great call. Halifax on the move.
Miller is someone else that has made a difference when she's come in. She's finding that ball. She's very active and trying to find the gaps. And when she has it, she's going at players, causing a lot of issues for Vancouver so far in the time that she's been on the pitch.
Lemire gets a hold of it. Back post. Cameron Miller. Everybody into the pool. Can't redirect it though.
For a lot of people, this ball would be so far out. There's not much opportunity off of it. But for Karima Lemire, you know she has the boot to be able to put that in and create a dangerous opportunity out of it.
You can hear it. It just sounds different when she gets a hold of it. Time winding down. 5 minutes of added minimum. Saw our official check her watch. And certainly not the result Vancouver was looking for, but if things remain the same at 0-0, it'll be their 4th match in a row where they've been able to collect points, and 1 point on the road is certainly nothing to scoff at. You see Clegg, though, despite the point for her side, frustration, because she's somebody who's going to look at the performance here today and say, I needed more from myself.
Truthfully, Ashley, as frustrating as that is for Vancouver, as they were dominant, I would say, majority of that matchup, they're also a little lucky because Halifax's opportunities were much better and a lot more jarring had they gone in. So frustration from Vancouver. They definitely have to be better in connecting with those passes and those crosses in the final third. Halifax is a team that brought the grit, they brought the hunger and the resilience to stick it out. But again, the clinical edge needs to be better. Clegg needs to finish those opportunities, but it's not just Clegg, it's an overall thing and an overall issue in this game specifically for both these teams.
And I think the look on Quinn's face says all we need to know. You see Vancouver coming in. They're trying to figure out what happened. They want to have answers to the questions. Nonetheless, congratulations to this Halifax Tide side who, quite frankly, did not own possession as we take a look at the statistics of the match. It was a little bit more even in the second half. Halifax able to get more of a handle on things. The shot remains the same. Vancouver had the advantage on shots on target. But Jess, to your point, the 2 opportunities specifically from Clegg, and I don't mean to harp on her, but she came in and she created with her teammates, Bluen in particular, and then unable to capitalize, and heartbreak for Halifax, who had 3 points on a platter. This is the Super Saturday of your dreams. Second in a row, Northern Super League presented by BMO. For our entire production crew, for my partner, Jess Lisi, for myself, Ashley Docking, thank you so much for joining us. And what a match that we had this evening. Halifax making amends for their 6-0 loss in front of a home crowd just a few weeks ago, providing some excitement for their fans, and coming out of this one with a point, their 2nd match in a row where they've gotten the results. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.